So we are live.
Hello, 1 2 3 test, test 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 test, test. That right now. Okay guys, sorry about that, we're having a few issues with our audio. So again, hello and welcome to the Tiree Wave Classic 2023. So the men's pros, the heats are about to take place now in the first heat of the day. For the men's pros, we've got Mike Archer and we've got James Cox. Let's see what they've got out there.
So we are live here from Tiree, and this is the first. We spent all the day getting ourselves ready, and here we are. This is the one that we've all been waiting for. This is the men's pro fleet. So, as Mia said, it starts with James Cox, Coxie from the South Coast, and it then starts with Mike Archer. Mike Archer lives on Tiree. He's a local boy. So we're waiting to see, and off they go. So James Cox, that is Coxie. You can see Coxie is out on the Ezzy sail. He is strong. He's a South Coast rider. He's good, very, very good. Let's see what he does. Keep following that Coxie. Let's keep following Coxie in. Let's see how he goes. Coxie is looking for a wave. He's searching. It's tricky out there. I was speaking to Bubble just before he went out. He said that the waves appear and then just disappear. He was on a 3.7 and has just rigged a bigger sail. He went 4.2. There's Coxie. Oh, maybe not. That's actually Mike Archer. Right. Bubble's not out. Bubble's not on. So there's Mike Archer, there's Coxie to the right, just pan right boys, camera boys. Just pan right, camera boys. So there we have it on, there's Coxie and there's Mike Archer. Those are the two we're looking for at the moment. We also have our cameraman, Sam Anstey, who's going to go up against Bubble Chambers next. So there we go, this is Coxie heading out. We can see him absolutely powering up. He'll be doing definitely forward or backy. Let's just have a look as he heads towards this ramp. He's heading fast towards it. There we go. Sweet, smooth, not landed. Shame. Right. Back into watching Mike Archer, obviously, on the simmer sail note. Coxie coming in, looking for a wave, looking for a way to get some points. Straight in. A lot of mush there. Finds another section. Finding another section quite small. I think he's probably going to just tack around and go back. Let's have a look at what Mike Archer's up to. Mike Archer, again, local man, knows this beach very well. Lives just at the top end by Ballavullen. Checking his watch, just seeing what he's doing. I think that might well be, is that the end of the heat? Looks like the end of the heat. Let's, can we get, unless she's down to Mia, see if she can, see if she's on the beach, just to find out what's going on with down there. So we're just hearing there's a heat postponed. So what we'll do is we will just pause this stream for a few minutes and we'll come back to you as soon as we are hearing what's happening from on the beach. There's obviously been a long day so far. It was started early, but we'll come back to you very shortly.
got Mike Archer, James Cox heading out on the water now. It was just postponed for five minutes or so as one of the youth riders had a little bit of problems with their kit. In the true spirit of windsurfing, they waited for them, they're out on the water now.
This is the start of the men's pro fleet. As you can see, we now have James Cox in yellow and the Ezzy sail. And my understanding is they're on 4 O's. That is what I'm understanding. And then we have Mike Archer, local Tiree resident, lives up at Ballavoulin in red. So that's great. There we go. Coxie is first to leave the beach. It's he's heading out. He's looking for wave. The wind is definitely quite strong. It was 30 plus knots earlier. Let's see what he does. First in, first move, first ramp. Oh, almost nailed. Just a little bit, just a little off. Here we go, following Mike Archer. A little bit dark on the camera there. Mike Archer with his first backy. There we go. So we're searching for let's see what he does first. Searching for Mike Archer, searching for James Cox. Let's have a look on the drone picture. There we have Mike Archer on the first wave. Is this going to be first blood? So first wave bloods to Mike Archer. Let's see what he can do. Dropping in, season option. And that's there he goes, off the top, coming back to Coxie. Coxie speed. I will try and find out what size sails they're on from Mir down at the beach. We will at some point. So thank you, Jack, for your question. We have an 8-minute heat. We have 2 waves and 2 jumps. So there we go. It'd be good if you were here commentating for me, Jack. That'd be very helpful. But anyway, there we go. Nice jibe. Not much of a wave action there. Back to Mike Archer. Mike Archer in some froth, white water. Never good, really, is it? Finding some. There's been a lot of that around today. We're waiting. So it's now at low tide. It's now low tide. Just started to be back on the push. And anyone who knows this beach will know that it starts to clean up pretty quickly. As soon as the wave starts to push in. It is mostly wind-blown swell though, so not exactly a good ground swell, but that is forecast to come in over the next few days. So just following Coxie out, let's see what Coxie can do. And unfortunately we don't have a countdown clock right now. We do kind of have one, but it's just a bit analog at the moment, so we will try our best to put the clock in each heat as well, but I've only got 2 fingers that really work, you know, classically. So here we go. Let's look at Mike Archer. Beautiful. Just a little bit over rotation there, I would think. Back to Coxie coming in. Does anyone in here have an idea of how long we have been filming for? We're live for? Okay, back onto the drone shot. There we go. Coxie on a wave. Just 5 minutes left in this heat. Looks like the wind's just dropping a bit, is it? Is that right? Is that anyone else's impression? 3 minutes left of this heat. Coxie sees a ramp. Beautiful. Beautiful backy. And Mike Archer on the hunt, prowling. It's quite onshore, the wind. Pretty onshore. Let's head back out to Coxie. just see the two of them there, just in frame, one bottom, one top. Coxey tacking. We're back into Mike Archer as he heads out. See if we can get him doing an aerial from this angle. Could be spectacular if he can get it right. That's what. Yeah. Here we go, here we go. Let's just watching Mike Archer. Half rotation, but good. Right, back onto Coxey. Coxey definitely, I was going to say making that look pretty easy, but quite hard work. 3 minutes remaining, 3 minutes on the clock. I'm not sure, we don't have a scoring system accurate enough yet to be able to implement that. This is a test for next year's when we'll be live for the 40th anniversary. So here we go, another one heading out. Coxey heading out. There's a ramp. Stalled and, oh, again, not quite landed that backy. Back onto Mike Archer. Doing what he can. You can see that the light is low. It is kind of obviously late afternoon here in Tiree. The sun sets to the west, and he is obviously heading into the west. So there we go. That was Mike. Coxey back on his way back in. What we need to be also doing is put that in. Coxey making that look simple, making that look smooth off the top there. Big boost of spray, indicating how powerful he was on that top turn. Yeah, Jack, thank you for that. We are ashamed that you're not here with us. Why is that, Jack? Coxey, a bit hot on the cameras there as we head out. As you can see, a bit of backlit there from Mike Archer. Okay, we're going to follow the drone. I know all the drone. We all love the drone sort of shots here as well, but we only have so many batteries, so we've got to kind of control our battery management, which is always a bit tricky. Definitely hot on your camera there, Finners. Right, going back on the drone. We've got 1 minute remaining. 1 minute left of this heat. Right, going. So Coxey on the last attempt. Going to count down for the end of this. And then there's a 2 minute transition. We shall come to Mia in the middle of this, and she will discuss with us. Okay, we'll wait till the end of this heat.
Ready, Mia? Got microphone on?
Yeah,
the end of the heat. We shall then go down onto the beach. Look at Coxey there, found a section, smashed that, whoop-pow. Not sure whoop-pow is quite what we want, but there you go. 10 seconds to go to the end of this heat. Okay, and here we go, and we're going to go into, and Mia can go. We're not audio, we're not hearing audio. Not hearing audio, not hearing audio. Not hearing audio, why not?
So, ready now? Yep. So, right now in the next heat of the men's pro qualifiers, we have Sam Anstey and Andy Chambers, so commonly known as Bubble. Hopefully these guys are going to pull some big airs. They're both really well established windsurfers. So Sam from the South Coast, same with Bubble. Sam's moved from the amateurs into the pros this time. Hopefully we're going to see some really nice stuff from them.
Just walking down there with the green rash vest on. When I spoke to him just earlier, he'd been on a 3.7. He then was going to rig a 4.2 because he was saying it's a bit fluky out there with the wind. So we don't know really what's going to go on there. However, our Sam Anstey has rigged, what size sail has Sam Anstey rigged? He's rigged a 4.2, so we think our Sam Anstey. And we can't see Sam Anstey yet because we haven't seen him in the picture. Has anyone got a picture? Our camera boys need a picture of Sam Anstey, clearly. There he goes, Sam Anstey in a white. So he's one of our team. He won the amateur fleet last year, so that was pretty cool. As a cameraman, he would kind of be working on the cameras, and suddenly he would disappear off, and he would go and compete on his heats, and won. So that's pretty exciting. So here we go. Well, that's not Bubble on that because Bubble's on a Goya. So can we find Bubble? Shot of Bubble. There we go. Here we go. This is it. The heat is. I think I'm going to bring the clock. So I've got this clock in. This is my best estimation at the moment. I'm hoping it's pretty accurate. I will try and update it as we go along, but here we go. Anyway, so there is Andy Bubble Chambers on the Goya. I think he was saying 4.42 or 3.7. So let's see what he does. And then we've got Sam Anstey. Let's just watch Bubble, see what he does on the first way out. I'm watching both. There we got both boys. Okay, Bubble has just tacked. He's looking to head back. Anstey is still powering out. He's still powering out. Okay, what's Mia going to say? Okay, Anstey's tacked. We're back on Bubble. Okay, we are now just going to just standing.
So we've just had some news from the first men's pro heat, the last one. So James Cox took the lead in that one, Mike Archer second. So that's the first little bit nugget of news for you on who's got through in the men's pro qualifications.
That is great, Mia. Thank you so much for that. So just confirmation that Coxey went through first, taking down local boy Mike Archer. We now have, this is Sam Anstey on the red sail, just following him in. There he goes, look at that, good section. Being dynamic with both board and body and sail, excellent. And we've got Bubble and Chambers in front of him, off he goes. We're just trying to get a new battery in the drone and get the drone up, over there, just looking over at the drone operator in our van, Joey Adams. Seems to be sitting there not flying a drone, I'm not quite sure why. Joey, get out, let's go. Thanks. Okay, Sam Anstey coming back in. Both boys coming back in. So, pretty cool. Here we go. There's nice tack from Sam Anstey. Bubbles coming in on a wave. It must be pretty tight, this one. They're both. You can put your comments in the. You can put your comments in the chat. Who you think has got this? I mean, I'm not a judge. I'm just. There we go. We just managed to get his backy. That's good. He hasn't had much chance to practice. So yesterday, yesterday evening when we all could go out for a windsurf, what did he do? Went for a kite with me. Right, we're back up on the drone. Drone's always good. And let's see what Andy Bubble Chambers can do. There we go. Landed a back loop. That's got to put him in the lead in terms of jumps. But I'd love your comments. If you can put your comments in the chat on YouTube, it's really good to see them because I can read them out. Sound like I know what I'm talking about, which clearly I don't. But here we go. Andy Bubble Chambers again. 4 minutes, roughly 4 minutes left. We'll get an accurate timing coming up from the beach. We don't have a system that's able for us to just. We're switching to Sam Anstey to watch him wave riding. He is well, I mean, I'm impressed considering he went kite surfing yesterday, not windsurfing. He hasn't windsurfed. So it's actually just with 12 seconds over on our timing. It's 4 minutes remaining. I can't alter the clock and commentate and direct live. So here we go. Sam Anstey coming in on a wave, looking for the wave, just slowing it down, looking for the wave. It's all a bit mushy out there. If you get the wrong timing out here right now, it's tricky, I think. Okay, back to bubble chambers. Let's go back. Let's see what. There he goes. Yep. On Anstey now. On Anstey, camera bug. Yeah. Bubble coming in, Anstey heading out. Bubble just turning. We've got 3 minutes remaining of this heat. Bubble heading out as well. Bubble heading out. Let's see what Bubble does here. Another backy, landed. I count that's 2. Okay, yeah, maybe forwards. Yeah. Actually not. Yeah, we'll come down to the beach to get an update from Mia at the end of this heat. We've probably got just over 1 minute, 1.5 minutes left. What can they do in the next minute and a half? Here comes Bubble coming in. Anstey needs to land. Anstey needs to land a jump. Here we go. Is this one? No. We're just waiting for this. Bubble's also heading out. Bubble did a back loop.
Ben Page and Rory Somerville. And they've both been in the pros before, they're seasoned pros. Yeah.
Okay. So Anstey didn't find a jump that time. Bubble did found. He has done forward and a backy. Let's hope Anstey finds one. I think we've got 1 minute left before to the heat end, correct?
Okay, so the third heat now for the men's pros. We've got Rory Somerville and Ben Page. They are both seasoned pros. They've both been in the pros fleet a few times now. Let's see what they've got.
Thank you, Mia. Well, obviously, Rory Somerville has come from the Future Pros program. Parents have got a house on the island. Ben Page has, well, he's a Devon boy. He lived just around the corner from me in a little village about 2 miles from me in South Devon in Modbury. So they're the next two out. I think this heat should have finished by now. Let's get rid of that graphic and just give a little pause while we work out what's going on. So we now have Ben Page, who is heading out, as I just said. Ben Page Ben Page is from Devon, Rory Somerville. He is in yellow and Rory Somerville is in red. There you go. You can just see in the red bib of Rory Somerville heading out. So now we have a proper commentator coming in. We have the event host, the event organizer and windsurfer extraordinaire.
Tim Watson, Sam Miguel.
Don't say that. You were so going to say that. What? Was that ready for Mia?
So we're just going to say Andy.
Andy, yeah. So
Can we go from here?
Second heat in the men's. Are you ready for Mia? So you can do results from this one. Oh, my God. And then people getting ready for the next heat are going to be, if you want.
Yeah, and then I'll practice saying their names.
Yeah.
Cool.
Tim Watson.
Yeah. Tim Watson, Miguel Chapuis.
Both short track riders.
Yeah. Yay.
Going to be an exciting heat.
Boring so far, isn't it?
Was this as you'd imagined as well? Was it like
Yeah.
just?
Yeah,
I mean, it will be what it will be, won't it?
Yeah, James was. I mean, for Sam to knock Andy out would be
Yeah.
big, tall
A
order.
big shout.
The thing
Yeah.
is, Andy's kind of like
can find on the way back in.
That right line in there?
Ben's a South Coast fella, so he does get a little bit of port tack sailing down in Cornwall. Gets a little bit of practice on there. You can see Somerville just doing his bottom turn in front of him, making sure that Ben is actually seeing what he's doing, knows that he's notching up scores. Ben's just about reaching the inside now, where it'll start to get a little bit more critical in the wave. No, bit of a dead run on the way in there, so quick tack, head back out, see if we can score some more jumps. Definitely tell with the pumping. No one was pumping an hour ago. A little bit more physical now for the guys heading out through the break. They've got to pump so as to make sure that they can actually get themselves up and running, ready to make those bigger jumps. Rory also heading out, just behind him. But here he comes. We've got both riders heading out, looking for that all-important big jump towards the back end of the heat. And Somerville gets it. Rocket air. Needs to do a bit more than that against Ben Page though, Mr. Somerville. So both heading back in. We've got Ben coming back in, looking for that wave ride again. Super important for the guys never to, give up hope of finding those bigger sets, so as to make sure that they can keep the scores running hard. And not too much longer to go, so they can start to cut loose a little bit more now in the heats and make sure that they're really going for their bigger manoeuvres. Somerville with an extended bottom turn. Wide arc, but very flat face turn. Not much speed being carried through the wave there. Very small inside wave, not high scoring.
Try and get the 8.
Both riders heading back in now. Ben Page out the back, again hunting for a bigger wave.
Yes.
Rory on the inside, just catching his breath, and he's probably done.
So we're going to come back down to Mia for an update on the beach. William, that was excellent work. Just hang there, don't go away, because you make us all look good.
Tim Watson and Miguel Chapweed are just heading out. So Tim is a rider from Rossniger, so port tack really favours him. And Miguel is from across the pond, he favours port tack conditions. So this is going to be head on head for this heat. Let's see what they've got.
So here we go, back in. We are waiting for an accurate time start from this. So as soon as we know what time this heat is going to start, we can kind of give you an accurate start for this, which will give you an accurate finish. We're waiting for this. It's going to be soon. Be poised. So we're just waiting for the start. We're about 20 seconds from the start from the 8-minute heat. We're going to get, I'm going to give you a 10-second countdown, and then we're into the next heat.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So high tech here, you can hear radio from the beach. That is live from the beach and from straight into, anyway, I'm going to hand you straight back to William McLean.
Okay, so we're back in the heat of the action. These guys on fresh arms, fresh legs, they're going to be giving it some. Wow, massive air time. Full bore forward there. Big scoring manoeuvre. Very impressive. And that's again, big back loop, Miguel Chapweed. Insane action at the start of this heat. That's two absolute top scoring jumps right at the beginning of the heat. That's going to be hard to beat. That's money in the bank for Miguel Chapweed. Couple of wave rides to score now, but that's such a good start for the Spaniard, competing first time at Tiree Wave Classic in Scotland. So we got both riders together now. We've got both in the lens. Interesting to see a little bit of psychological warfare going on here. One can see the other and watching what the other's doing, and that lets them know what they've got to do in turn. Big frontside turn into the section, snaps it round. And again, snaps it round and into the section. Milking the wave all the way to the beach. And turns and heads back out. Amazing. What a performance. First time competing in cold northwest Scotland. So just heading out, no real ramps as such at the moment. And we've got Tim just heading off the beach on the inside here now as well. So here we go, he's looking to get his scores in on the score sheets, looking for a better quality ramp here, get some airtime, and here we go. Nice stall forward, wet landing, crash. No, very unfortunate.
Right, so while we wait for the riders just to pick up, we are going to go down to get up a result from Mia down on the beach. Let's go.
Okay, so the men's pro heats are underway. I'm here with Nigel. Nigel is going to give us a bit of an update of where the men are at, who's got through, who hasn't.
Hi Mia. So far, no big shakes. James Cott's going through. We also got Andy Bubble Chambers, he's gone through. Lucas Meldrum is already through on a bye, and he's the vice champion. And Ben Page has just managed to beat local lad Rory Somerville, so he's through. That loads up half of the semi-final, and we're now into the second part of the semi-final. Hopefully we'll see that done, and then we go on to the final of the pros. So very excited at the moment, but no big shakes. It could still happen though.
Someone follow.
Cool. Thank you, Nigel. So that's an update of where the men are. Who's got through? There's still a few heats to go now through the eliminations.
Thanks very much, Mia. Back to the action. Guys are still going at it in the water here. Tim heading upwind at the moment, looking to get some more scores in on the wave riding. So in terms of scoring, the guys are looking once again for 2 wave rides, best high scoring wave rides. They can perform as many as they like over the course of the heat, but the 2 highest scoring waves are selected at the end, and that forms the basis of their score count for wave riding. It's much the same format for jumping, where they can do as many jumps as they like, and at the end the judges select the 2 highest scoring different jumps, and from there the 2 scores for jumping and wave riding are put together, and at that point then that gives you a total score, and from there, if it's a 2-man heat, you get your first and second place. 4-man heat, you get the full 4-man ranking at that stage. So we've got Tim wave riding here now, some nice bottom turns, nice open face, and he's linking the turns together nicely. That's going to be a high scoring wave if he can just keep it going. And he's just trying to keep that flow going, trying not to lose speed, but just slowly drops off there. Wave just diminished in size towards the end. I've got to say, he's got his hands full with this Spaniard though. God, this guy's good. Out he goes, looking for another wave score again. He got those jumps in the first minute of the heat. Very impressive. So Miguel is a first-time visitor to Tiree, but acclimatising very, very quickly to a combination of the conditions that we have here. A little bit of showboating on the wave on the way in there, and straight into another deep, high-speed bottom turn. Upwind 360, but crash. Almost a little bit of a freestyle move there. We do like to see our manoeuvres done on the wave. And a back loop crash from Tim. Moving towards the back end of the heat now, final quarter. The arms and legs are starting to get a little bit more tired, so you will see a few more crashes as we go. But very impressive outing for Miguel Chapui in this particular heat. Quick tack out the back, ready to pick up more waves. Coming back in again. Now poor old Tim seems to be having a bit of a tougher heat this round. Normally an absolute ripper in the water, but he's definitely had not so much luck in this heat. And sometimes, you know, the heats, as much as they come down to skill of the rider, sometimes you do need a little bit of luck on your side as well. So, yeah, 2 waves, 2 jumps to count.
Both.
Big frontside turn from Miguel. Off the top, throws some spray. Not a particularly critical section of the wave, quite a flat section there. But again, he's milking it all the way to the beach. And it's all about making those interconnecting turns, keeping the board on the rail, front side, back side, all the way into the beach. Connecting up your wave ride and trying to show some diversity in the wave riding abilities. That's him jibing out, heads back out. And now we've got Tim on the way in. Again, hunting for a high scoring wave to try and round down his heat, see if he can claw back a little bit and make some impact. Pretty sure at this stage that Miguel, with that excellent start he had, particularly with the jumps at the beginning of the heat, is probably leading at this point. Maybe getting a little bit windier again, starting to look like a little bit of fish scale in the water there, implying that the wind's just picked up. Nice bottom turn, top turn, but again, fairly flat wave as the tide has dropped out here into the afternoon. The waves are definitely starting to flatten off. It was a little bit bigger earlier this morning. 20 seconds left to go. Chapuis, bigger wave on the outside. And he's looking at a bigger set wave here. This could be a high scoring wave to end on. Big bottom turn. Oh, wave 360. Sick. Does he keep it up? Does he? Does he? Does he? That's the first one of those in the pro competition, but no, he falls off the back. Very unfortunate. What a heat.
There we go. What a great bit of commentary there from William McLean. Obviously knows exactly what's going on with all the different jumps, unlike me. So that's great. We're now going to come down to Mia. Mia is going to just give us an update from the beach and from the beach hut with from Nigel Tracy what's going on. So over to Mia.
Okay, we're here with another signal elimination. We've got Dave Horrocks and Matt Cox up next. Let's see what they've got. Some nice waves out there. It's trying to ramp up a little bit. The wind's dropped off, but let's see what they're doing.
Yeah, that's amazing just to hear that we've now have the next set going out. If you can bring us any more of the results as they come in, that would be really cool. As we next have, we have Dave Horrocks, who will be on simmer wearing a green bib. And then we have Matthew Cox, who is on white. I think Matthew, if I'm right, Willie, he rides with Severn Sails. Is that right? Do you think so? Matthew Cox? GA Sails. So he's with GA. Sorry about that. So there we are, looking for simmer sails and GA sails. So yeah, so it's all on here. You can see the tide is low. It's on the push. We're probably an hour after low. That's what I think is going on at the moment. We're a little bit off the. So okay, we're just 20 seconds from the start. From the next start of this heat. 15. Yeah, it's just. I'm going to get this. You can do.
1 and go. We are green for go, and here we go. Another epic heat just ahead of us here. We got Matthew Cox on the red sail. We got Dave Horrocks on the green simmer. 2 rippers. Dave's got a lot of experience under his belt, been competing a long time. A little bit older than Matthew, but both very impressive sailors. Particularly in this wind direction, I'd say Dave, probably in my estimation, might have the edge, but Matt is looking to cause an upset every other time he competes nowadays. So, a little bit of jumping there from Dave. I think we just missed what was going on, just a quick transfer over. But yeah, forward loop. Heading back in now. Again, just looking a little bit light in the water at the start of this heat. Hopefully it'll pick up as it goes. And from there we'll have a bit more hard-paced action.
4, 3, 2, 1, and there you go.
Okay, so we've got some results now from the men's heat. Now I'm here with Nigel. Nigel, tell us what's going on.
So that's the fourth heat of the pros quarter-final, and it was Tim Watson versus Miguel Chapuis. Miguel Chapuis from Tiree. He's come all the way over here for this event, and he's just taken Matt down. So he's had an absolutely amazing bit of heat there. In fact, having seen what we've just seen, we think that Miguel could possibly take the title. So very exciting.
That's very exciting, and also very quick to hear that from his first heat already, that he could win the title of the event.
Yeah, I mean, obviously don't quote me on it completely. I'm not going to put any money on it, but what we've just seen, he's probably scored the most points of any rider so far. So, yeah, I'd say he's favourite to be in the final, I would say at least. And then he's going to give, he's definitely going to give the existing champs and vice champs a run for the money.
Cool, super exciting. Thank you, Nigel. Let's see what the rest is going on.
So still having lots of fun in the water here. The guys are giving it big action. Dave's just gone down. He's down in the soup at the moment, swimming for his life. And Matt heading back out to sea, looking for his next wave. Might get a little bit of a ramp here. No. Don't know quite what happened there. A little bit of a spin out maybe. When you're sailing, jumping back and forward all the time like that, with the spin out you can get a little bit of air bubble attachment to the fins and occasionally just spins out, so maybe that was what was happening. Just hearing some terrible news in the background. We've got another injured party from today's action on the water. One of the kids, unfortunately, now is he's back at the beach. He's looking rosy, but he's hobbling about in crutches. It's been take no prisoners kind of morning here in Tiree. Foot caught in the foot strap is the latest report. Yeah, so not very pleasant for anyone that's experienced that. So we've got Dave Horrocks heading back out at the moment, Matt Cox heading back in. And just focusing on to Dave here, hunting furiously for that big jump that's going to get the score sheets livening up a bit. Here we go. Big push loop. Perfect execution, perfect landing. Dave's going to be happy with that. Yeah, not bad. These conditions are a little bit challenging, just a little bit light at times. So now hunting for a wave on the way back in. Matt's struggling a little bit just off camera. Not much happening for him at the moment on the inside. So Dave's now looking for a wave with speed, with power, heading back in. Going to see him start to look for some turns on the wave to execute a few turns. Big crash! Matt Cox goes down hard in the background, right onto the rig. Let's hope he's the next, not the next casualty of the day. Dave playing it conservative here, just making some way back upwind. That's going to give him a little bit more opportunity to bear off on the way back out in this next run, so as to try and find his next big scoring jump. Bearing off, pump, 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 and he's up and planing. Now he is hunting for that ramp to make the next manoeuvre. Just a little bit flat at times as the guys are accelerating out through the break. It's not always full action there. It can be hard at times to find exactly the ramp you need to make your manoeuvres. But everyone doing a really good job in the pro fleet so far of making sure that they're filling those score sheets and keeping it interesting for the spectators down here on the beach. Dave Horrocks jibe on the outside and again turns, looks upwind, seeing what he can see coming, what can he spot in terms of set waves. The key to this really being that you need to look for the biggest, most powerful waves, making your turns in the most critical section of the wave so as to score maximum points. In some of the fleets they might shy away from that a little bit if it's a particularly big day, but with this pro fleet we expect them to be hammering everything in sight, making the most radical turns in the section and trying to generate as much power through the turns as possible, and Dave's certainly doing that in this run. Really nice execution, great control in the bottom turn, snapping off the white water each time. And again, that's a pretty high scoring wave in the current conditions. Back to Matt on the outside now. He's struggling a little bit, possibly a little bit underdone, a little bit too small a sail maybe for the conditions that we've got at the minute. But again, he's getting the board up and running, pumping hard, getting into the critical section of the wave, which is going to give him a little bit of power, help to keep him going and keep the speed up. There's actually a bit of sunshine in the background now. You can see that just at the back there. We've got Heinisch Point illuminated. Lovely. Not been much sun in Tiree in the last 6 weeks or so, but we've had plenty of wind, plenty of waves. Dave Horrocks just driving onto a critical section on a wave there. Nice little backside setup. He's going to be looking downwind. Hard bottom turn back into the foam ball. Sends it round on the rail. Looking for it again. Up and smack. This is Dave's preferred tack, wind from the left. His wave riding is very sharp on this tack. Very much on point. 1 minute to go in the heat. And I think it's fair to say, you know, you never know what's going to happen in any other given heat, but at the moment Dave's making it look like a very good job on his part. Matt just struggling to find the waves and the jumps that he needs to get some traction against Dave in this heat. So Matt possibly looking for a bigger section now. He's pumping. Oh, and catapult. Unlucky. So that was probably his last opportunity in this heat to make some impact on his score sheet with the wave rides. Dave heading back out to sea. Looking to throw in a quick turn, maybe get onto a wave just before the end of the heat. Flicks the sail round and straight into the bottom turn. Steep, critical section. Nice tight little turn. He is riding, so even when the heat ends, the judges continue scoring as long as he's turning.
Oh, that's heat over. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But just get ready if it's flipping.
There we go then, another heat over. That kind of ends the first round of competition here in the men's pro fleet. We're just going to go down to Mia now, so see if we can get a little update on results and scores from Mia. So as soon as you're ready, Mia, you can take it away.
Okay, so that's another men's heat done in the bag. They've been out there for quite a while now. We've been here since 7:30, so the conditions have kind of stayed consistent all day. We've got a few more heats to go for the men. The wind's still here. Thank you. We're going back to the guys in the van.
Guys in the van, I know. Well, there we go. Thanks for your comment, Ian Ross. Yeah, we could do that, but yeah, we could probably do that. I'll think about if I can set that up in the middle of this, but never quite so easy, really. Anyway, there we go. You can see the weather conditions at the moment. It is kind of beginning to, I know it's not quite sunset, but it's gone a bit cloudy. The light's dropping a little bit. You've got that amazing kind of backlight, which is beautiful, of course. So we're just waiting for the next heat to start, and we'll give you a countdown as soon as we know what's going on.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, start.
There we go. There we go. We are back in, and we still have William sitting next to us. So whilst he's still here, I'm going to make absolute most use I can of Willie.
Thanks very much, Sam, and a pleasure to commentate in this next heat. We've got my old rival, 30-year rivalry in the making, Scott McDowell, the ultimate Scottish competitor with a big forward. Nice landing, Scott. That's how it's done up here. Excellent execution. So, high-scoring manoeuvre within the first 30 seconds for Scott McDowell. Let's see who's on the flip side of the coin here. So, that's Luke, forward. Yeah, good landing. Sticks the landing on that too. Not as big as McDowell, but nice and clean. No problem with the execution there. And again, it's all about getting the scores on the score sheet early in the heat. And back loop. Crash. Or has he? Yeah, I think the judges award points there for him. Yep. looking good. So that's probably overtaken McDowell just by managing to squeeze that back loop out on the same run as well. Scott McDowell now heading back for the inside, looking for that all-important set wave so as to try and rack up the scores. Scott's a regular here in Tiree. It's not just the Wave Classic. He's up here 6 times a year. So he really is familiar with the conditions. He's used to the Scottish cold dynamic of being in the water when it's a little bit chillier at this time of the year, and absolutely in his element out there. Nice little backside setup on the turn into front side turn. Bit of an open face, not too critical, but this is steepening up a little bit on the second turn there. Scott's ripping. And on the wave behind, that's Luke all over the wave. Backside, front side, going rail to rail. That's exactly what the judges want to see. Regardless of the wave, if you're able to throw your board from side to side and really put some radius into your turns, that's always going to help to notch up the points a little bit more. Nice tack on the inside. He's getting some ground back upwind to be able to bear off and go back into the jumps again. McDowell on the way out at speed. He's looking for a steeper ramp, and he might have one. He's building the speed. Here we go. Back loop. Sticks the landing. Perfect. McDowell's on fire. Approaching 60 years of age. There's not a more competitive guy in that pro fleet and still ripping. Insane. Little flicky jibe there on the outside. Turns McDowell back round. Sends him back to the inside looking for a wave. In the meantime, we've got Luke here heading out on the red sail, looking to get himself back upwind into pole position for some of the bigger set waves coming back through again. McDowell approaching the inside. Let's see what he's picked up on his run back in again. A little bit of interference from someone having a good time on the inside here. We don't frown on that too much, you know, everyone's got to get a little bit of time in the water, but when it's inside the competition zone, not so good. Here goes Scotty. Top turn. Back into the bottom turn, working the wave all the way to the beach. And now we've got Luke initiating his bottom turn. A little bit of a soggy wave. He's going to try and work it, make the most of it. Once the guys are committed, it's kind of quite important to actually make best use of the wave that they have, because otherwise 8 minutes can go very quickly. We're in quite a short heat duration today. And the net result is if you're not getting your scores in, well, if there's nothing on the scoreboard at the end of the round, you're out. McDowell with speed off the beach. He's not called helium legs for no reason. Here he goes, pump, 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 looking for that wave, looking for some air time. Is he going to get a ramp? It's looming up. And he sticks a big forward. A little bit wet on the landing, but that's not so much him. He just kind of landed into a lull there, and there wasn't a lot of wind to bring him back up onto his feet again. That's Luke heading out to sea. Luke's had a bit of a dry run on the jumping so far, but hopefully that'll change. He's still got just over 3 minutes left in this heat to try and get the jumping scores up a little bit. Really has been a bit of a clinic in terms of the jumping from McDowell so far. Yeah, very, very impressive from the local Scotsman. Luke heading back in now, bringing it back to sea, back in from the outside. And he's going to be looking again to try and pick off the biggest wave, biggest section he possibly can. A lot of work to do here in the last half of his heat to try and make up ground on McDowell. So let's see what he can do. Seems like it's just flattened off a little bit in terms of wind again. Looking at the guys in the background. Oh, and a forward on the way in. Interesting. Well, I guess it adds a little bit of style points. I'm not sure how much the judges have given for that, but certainly caught my eye. Pretty nice conditions actually here at Crossbowl today. We weren't necessarily expecting to get as good waves as we got earlier on this morning, but there's been some reasonable lumps there, and the guys have been able to throw up some big air here and there, so it's been pretty impressive for the cameras. So again, you can just see Luke's maybe just slightly under-rigged. And it does pay to have a choice of equipment on the beach just immediately before the heat from that point of view. He's struggling just a little bit to get going on the inside, but throws the forward. Crashes the landing. Only narrowly missed the landing, but he is wet, he is in the water. So although the sail's still up, he won't be scored on that manoeuvre. So Luke's trying to build speed again, see if he can put another jump on the score sheet before he finishes his run back out to sea. Can be quite hard once you've had a wipeout like that. The arms are tired, legs are tired, moving into the last minute of the heat, just to be able to build momentum and work the sail as much as you can so as to get your speed up for maximum performance. So he's going good, but he's going to tack, head back in, try and find a wave and see what he can do from there. So possibly a slightly bigger set looming on the outside for Luke this time on his way back in. We're going to see what he can pick up. Luke has actually become a Scottish national in the last couple of months as well. He's now living in Glasgow. So we expect to see a little bit more of him, Tiree, from time to time. Getting in the water here and trying to practice his art of wave sailing. He's already been all around the breaks in Scotland. Initiating a bottom turn. A little bit of a flat section there. Not so good. Fell off the back. Non-scoring wave. Final seconds and we're done.
So there we are. We have that another heat finished. We are going to come down to Mia pretty soon with, but she's standing out the back of the van and not on the beach. So Mia, you need to peg it down to the van, down to the beach, and find out what's going on. Well, that's really bad. She's just saying the camera's fallen over as well. So and that's the problem with filming in the wind, isn't it? Really, if you don't fix the camera down. I'm not blaming you, Mia, by the way. Just to let you know. Anyway, there we go. That's another heat done, and we shall bring you all of the information as soon as we have it. So here we are, we have 8 minutes, another heat starting. This is now James Cox on yellow and Andy Bubble Chambers on red. And luckily, we still have Willie here. So I'm just going to hand you over to Willie. And as soon as we have an update from Mia, it'll be to Mia.
Well, I've got to say, Sam, this is a pleasant break from the judges' vehicle because all we do is criticise the sailors and say how they can do things better. But we're in for a real treat here with these two. This is the consummate grudge match, and it's Coxey over the handlebars. Nice forward. A little bit unlucky with the landing, but the next section of white water kind of slowed him down a little bit in his tracks, but nonetheless a very good forward from him there.
Ground and I'm talking to you from there. Just seeing some of the boys out in the pro heat. It's super windy here. We've been here since 7:30 and it hasn't really dropped off all day, and I'm not sure it's going to until, well, Sunday, to be honest, when we're all on the ferry home. Super windy. The guys are just waiting for their last heats to go. they're all frothing out there, so it's really nice to see the action. Back to you boys in the van.
Thanks so much, Mia. Yeah, it's nice to be in the back of the van, nice and warm up here. All the guys are huddled in, and poor old Mia's freezing out there. She's got the heavy duty rain and wind gear on, keeping her warm out doing the reporting. With the guys in the water, we've had Andy Chambers doing a little bit of wave riding just on the way in, just before we cut back to him there. Coxey is hitting everything in sight and goes down on that last wave. So as I say, these two guys sail in the same locality, south coast of England, sail together on a regular basis, push each other in the water all the time. So yeah, there's probably a little bit of beer money on this heat, I would have thought. Who's going to win, who's going to lose? Because the two guys know each other pretty well and know each other's styles pretty well, so they'll be watching each other whenever they can to see what the other is doing on the water and what each other are landing. So at the moment we've got Bubble heading out to sea. There might be a little bit of a ramp looming just up ahead of him here. If not, he's making good upwind ground, ready to try and get a wave ride back towards the beach again. Quick tack, and that's him pointing back to the beach, ready to start looking for the set wave. James Cox on the way out with a bit of speed. He gets a ramp and throws it into a back loop. Nicely executed, but just loses it on the landing. Bit unfortunate. Trying to create a little bit of extra lift coming off that wave there, and just didn't quite work out for him. Andy Chambers now making progress back in towards the beach. He's picked up a little bit of a wave there, and he's looking to see how he can work that but still maintain his upwind ground so he can set up for jumps on the way back out again. So yeah, he's not going to bother this time. Quick jibe on the inside to retain the speed, heading back out, building pace, looking for a steeper ramp, and it's a back loop. Sticks it, lovely landing. Only wet to the mid-calf. Judges are going to like that. That's going to be a high-scoring back loop given the conditions currently. Coxey coming back in, looking nicely powered up, just seems a fraction windier in the water again. Approaching the halfway mark in this heat, we're down to 4 minutes 30. Heats this morning and into this afternoon are 8 minutes duration with a 2-minute transition time. What that means is that in between the heats, the guys are getting 2 minutes before the next heat starts, so they have an opportunity to get back up the beach, get to the scoreboard and see what's happening. 8 minutes is not a long time in a competition heat, but because it's been full planing all day, the guys have been able to fill the score sheets just the same. And we've got Andy Chambers in the background now, on the wave, some interconnecting turns, backside, front side interconnecting, open face, blue wave, nice and steep. That was a high scoring wave. James Cox heading out the back. Oh, this could be big. He's got a ramp. Here we go. Is he going to land that back loop? He's looked for it. Yeah, and he's got it. Nice one, Coxey. These guys are showing this as it should be done. What you're looking for as well in the pro division are 2 alternative jumps on the way out. Now, you can do as many jumps as you like, and most of these guys will be able to showcase a huge range of jumping. And Bubble goes big forward. Fast spin loop, not super high, but fairly cleanly executed. So that when these two are competing, they're looking to execute a range of jumps and try and get maximum height and completed as dry landings as possible. Don't want to be water starting away, that detracts from the scoring a little bit. Andy's got a big wave he's on here, jacking up a little bit. Hopefully it gives him a nice steep face to work with and it allows him to retain his speed. And forward off the lip on the way in, that's going to make it high scoring. He's now got a relatively steep open face, nice slashing turn, lots of spray being thrown on the top turn there. Fantastic. Backside set up into front side top turn. Ripping. We wouldn't want to be on this side of the draw, that's for sure. These guys are definitely doing the do in the water at the moment. Into the final quarter, we're down to 2 minutes 15. Coxey's just attempted something there, just off the cameras, and he water starts up and he's going to get himself going again. He's got a bit of wind, he's accelerating hard. There are still ramps. Andy also heading back out in the background. Here goes Coxey. Let's see if he's got something to aim for. And it's a back loop. Nicely landed, perfect upright landing. Only wets the ankles. Not the biggest jump in the world, but perfectly executed. And his back loop, bigger, but wetter. So yeah, hard to say which one of those would score more. Possibly Andy's, he'd quite a bit more height there. And just a little bit cleaner execution, but a bit wetter on the landing. Okay, we've got James Cox heading back in from deep waters. Has he got something to work with? We want a nice open steep face, maintain the speed. And it's an upwind, hard carving backside bottom turn with almost a little bit of air into the front side top turn. Showcasing the full radius of the turn, that's what it's all about. Showing the judges the fins where possible. Maintaining the speed. Just losing the speed a little bit towards the end of the wave ride there. Andy Chambers, turn, nicer, more critical section, smacks the foam ball. Off the top, backside initiation into the top turn, and again. In these conditions, it's rare to see more than 3 cleanly executed front side turns, and if you can do that, you can guarantee a high wave score, particularly if it's in an unbroken section, steep section of the wave. So Andy doing pretty well with 2 good solid turns going in there. Coxey tacking out the back, looking for wave ride to come back in. We're in the final 15 seconds. And as long as the wave ride is initiated, it scores even after the final buzzer. So a really nice initiation, backside bottom turn there. He's still riding. Nice little hack into the wave. And that's the buzzer, but he is still on a scoring run. Final turns, and we're going to transfer back over. Looking good with James there. So that's the guys heading back into the beach. Shortly we'll transfer back to the beach and hear the latest updates from the scoreboards. Me as ever just waiting in anticipation to hear what's going on with the previous heats.
Don't have a radio, so Luke.
Directly at the end of the heat, they are actually still just sailing while the 2 minutes allow. So they must be having a good time out there in the water.
Okay, so that was another epic heat from those boys. I'm still up here on the cliff. I'm wondering when their boys are going to let me sit in the van. It's probably not likely. The sun's starting to set now. Should be in for a nice sunset, fingers crossed. We've got a few more heats to go for the men's pro final. I think we're going to be here till dark. Back to you boys in the van.
Steadily progressing through the rounds at this stage, and thanks to Mia for the update there. As we progress, we've now got the next sailors entering the water. It's always good prep to be down round about the water's edge, just there with a minute and a half to go, getting yourself into position from which you can beach start and getting ready for the beginning of the heat. And the minute that buzzer goes and goes green, if possible, you actually want to be planing and hitting the ramps at that point in time so that you're scoring from the buzzer. So that's the guys taking off the beach now. So we've got the Ben Page with a big push loop. Nicely executed, nicely landed. Lucas, something else, just off the cameras there. We couldn't quite spot that, but again, he's landed something there in the background. The judges will have caught all the action. Now, this is going to be another hotly contested heat. And big stall forward from Lucas Meldrum. Huge. That's going to be a high scoring manoeuvre. The judges have guidelines to help them with the scoring. So in terms of the technicality of the jump, the degree of height and the degree of completion help to inform the score. A jump like that's probably out of 10, That'd be a 7 out of a maximum of 10 points probably, or somewhere round about those numbers. Ben Page struggling a little bit to find a wave or much wind on the outside there, so he's just stalling. We'll move back to Lucas for the meantime, see if he's enjoying better conditions. Sick bottom turn, oh my god. Yeah, wave 360 back of the face. That's what we're looking for. That's the kind of stuff you really expect to see in a final, not so much at this stage of the draw. So yeah, lovely work from Lucas. He'll be pleased with that as well. It's always good when you stick those kind of manoeuvres, maximum points on the wave. That's going to let him relax a little bit. And actually, just sometimes relaxing when you're on the water can conserve a little bit of energy and lead to an overall better performance. So getting a big scoring move in like that early can make it a little bit more relaxing for you. Ben again struggling slightly with a smaller inside wave there, but still trying to get the turns in and just build the points. Now Lucas with a bit of speed from the inside, looking good on his full duotone setup, and a low and unfortunately crashed back loop. Ben Page on the way out, looking for his ramp. This guy was so radical free sailing last week. Is he going to display any of that through this heat today? Looking a little bit flatter just as we're moving towards the low tide. This stage of tide definitely seems a little bit more lackluster in terms of the waves. The guys aren't seeing so many steep ramps, but still lots of good action going on. Loving the commentary, guys. Keep the commentary up here. Support of our riders in the water. Sick action. Remember, it's sick with a K. CK, not so cool. Sick. Lucas, another sick with a K bottom turn. Ben, almost as sick. We're going to use that word a lot in these heats, I can tell. Backside set up, but unfortunately Lucas loses his speed, falls off the back of the wave. Not quite a critical enough section to allow him to perform such a tight turning manoeuvre. It stalled all his momentum as he hit the lip there. We're lucky here in Tiree. We get to see the creme de la creme every October, and it's always a joy to watch these guys in the water because the ability level just gets pushed a little bit every other year, and this year being no exception. I mean, this is only the first round and already the action is pretty hot. Ben Page looking for a steeper ramp, and he goes stall forward. Nicely landed. Big slick rotation, and he'll be fairly pleased with that. Lucas looking to generate something there, but unfortunately the wave didn't play ball. Didn't quite give him as much kick as he was looking for. Probably going for a kind of a lower back loop, but didn't give enough, and he was able to just turn it into a small flat jump. Saves a bit of time, saves him wiping out. Back into the final half of this heat. We're down to 3 minutes 25 seconds, and the guys are now looking for a wave ride, both heading back towards the beach. Ben has the unfortunate position where he has to watch Lucas in front of him, and he'll see anything good that Lucas can do, and that can be a little bit off-putting, but likewise if Lucas falls on any of his turns, Ben gets a bit of extra confidence. A little bit flat on the wave face there with Lucas's turn just ahead of Ben. We're definitely struggling a little bit more for waves in this heat. The guys are going to have to work quite hard so as to make sure that they are actually selecting the best wave possible to rack up their scores. Oh, nasty crash, straight into the rig. Is he alright? Oh, he doesn't, that doesn't look good. I think that hurt quite a lot. That's not good. He's still got a little bit of time left in this heat, and Ben still has the opportunity to come back. So let's hope Lucas hasn't injured himself and he is okay to continue at this stage. That was a nasty fall. The last thing we want to see with any of the riders is any kind of injury, because these guys are here to put on a performance, and we hope they're able to do that. Little one-handed low back loop there. Does he stick the landing? Yeah, he's round. So that's a scoring jump. Back to Ben Page. Looking for a bigger critical section to turn into. Is he going to find it? So he's initiated his frontside turn. It's an open face. It's a little bit of steepness there. Yeah, he's doing okay. He's able to maintain his speed, continue off down the line, snapping it off the top each time. Yeah, just a little bit of commentary here as we're watching the footage. We can see Lucas in the background there at times just shaking things off. Looks like he might have tweaked himself a little bit with that last wipeout, but he's still in the game, he's still up and competing. Lucas now hunting for a wave on the way back in. And as we can see, Ben charging back out, trying to build speed. And into a back loop, but crashed. Neil Point. Sorry, buddy. That was wet. Lucas just a little bit hesitant to engage with that wave there. Maybe he's seen something a little bit better coming in from out the back, and he just stalls and holds on. Into the sunset period of the heat. Last 30 seconds or so. Last opportunity for these guys to make an impact on their score sheets. Lucas with a fast bottom turn initiation into the foam ball and pops it round. Little goose screw, but lands out the back. So non-scoring manoeuvre. Unfortunately, nicely executed, but because it's not landed back on the wave, unfortunately it doesn't score. Last 10 seconds. Please don't catch a wave, Ben. I need a break here. This is too much. These guys have ripped for the full 8 minutes. Excellent. He's on a wave, so it is scoring. We'll see this one out, and then we'll transfer back to the beach to hear the latest updates. He's still riding, and it is scary at times how long a wave ride can actually go on after the end buzzer, but the judges are actively scoring this.
Who's got the radio? Andrew, you've got the radio? Please see if you've got the radio.
No. No, she's not there. So the guys are just coming in off the water. They'll be glad to get some oxygen in their lungs and just get a little break as well, wait for the results. It's always a bit heartbreaking in the pros, you know, all the guys are here to try and make inroads into the fleet. But unfortunately someone's got to lose in each of the heats. That's just how competition goes.
Who's on that camera there? It'd be really good to have that camera. She needs to do an update. Who's got next is Horrocks and Miguel Chapwis, Dave Horrocks and Miguel Chapwis.
Phil Horrocks, Dave Horrocks. Dave Horrocks, Chapwis and Phil Horrocks.
No, it's not. It's a two-man. So it's just Chapwis and Horrocks.
Yep.
Next. Yeah. Okay, Mia, you can give us the heads up. Standing by on you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, Mia. Which camera have you got? Have you got just the one?
Am I up?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
So we've got Miguel Chapwis. Fantastic tweak push loop. Nicely executed. Love those new Neil Pride sail colours. He's looking pretty sharp in the water there. And we've got the drone up and running again. So it's great following these guys at speed. Hitting that ramp.
Okay, so we've
Huge
got
back loop.
Miguel
Sticks the
Chapwis
landing.
heading out now. Port tack riders
Sick.
again. The wind's still on shore. Let's see what they've got. Over to you guys back in the van.
Pretty impressive to see this man back in the water and what the skill set really is here. He's up against Dave Horrocks in this heat, who again is a specialist in UK terms on this tack. So let's hope that Dave can actually show us some kind of a response to Miguel's charge through the Pro Division in his first Tiree Wave Classic. The guy heard about the sword, he's here for the armory, he's not going home till he's got every sword, blade, dagger, and takes the whole lot back to Spain. But the Brits aren't going to let that happen. Ripping up and back down into the front side turn and off the top. And he continues with the wave ride, hitting the foam, almost thinking about the upwind 360 there. And again into a nice downwind bottom turn. This guy probably spends a bit of time in Pozo and training in the Canaries, places like Tenerife at Medano. A little bit of a crash there for him, but he's looking very at home in these onshore port tack conditions. Dave heading out to sea, looking for a ramp. Don't think he's had much jumping joy so far, but plenty of time for that with still 6 minutes left to go in this heat. Miguel's just enjoying the foam ball on the inside, a little bit of swimming, no real action coming back from him right at the minute. So Dave is now looking for his wave, builds a little bit of speed to set up for his wave ride. He's looking, not entirely happy with the setup on that wave, so he's going to try and push hard upwind and look for something upwind of him. Backside initiation, and he's following up with the front side bottom turn. Back to Chapuis. Love this drone angle footage, fantastic. You really get a feeling for the movement across the water with the guys ripping out to sea. And back to Dave, heading in towards the beach, tacking upwind, trying to make a bit of upwind ground which allows him to bear off and be a bit more aggressive on the way out, looking for the biggest possible jump on the way out. So Miguel hunting down a wave. We got Horrocks heading out at the same time. This really is the Pozo day in Tiree at the moment. These angles are awesome. Wow, big over the handlebars. Nicely landed, Dave. Sick. Back to Miguel, who seems to be struggling a little bit. He's looking again for that steeper, higher scoring set wave. Young guy, but very competition savvy, knows he needs the bigger, more critical sections to rack up the highest scores. And he goes down and loses his kit. Well, that could be a problem. Let's hope his front crawl's good. Back to Dave. Looking a bit flat at the moment for Dave, but hopefully that swell will build a little bit for him. Goes into his front side initiation. Lovely, off the top. A little bit slow on that wave, but it's building. Steepening up a little bit for him. Here he goes again. Front side initiation. Snap off the top. He could just do that all day long. Coming back to Miguel. Just tacked on the outside, looking to pick up a wave on the way back to the beach again. Building speed, and he goes into his first bottom turn. Did a really nice job of getting onto that wave early. He was almost up and wave riding immediately out the back on a bigger set wave. It has a little bit more power, a little bit more speed, and it's just allowing him to hold his line, continue carving rail to rail, throwing buckets of spay. And again, this is a really high scoring wave. Probably one of the most turns on a blue unbroken wave that we've seen in the heat so far. And Dave goes for the big push loop. A little bit wet, but yeah, I'd say the judges are going to give that.
Back up to Dave, Joey.
And Dave throws in an immediate slam jibe straight back onto the wave, and he's back into the scoring zone with the wave riding again. Oh, now look at this. This is perfect. We've got the drone, the two of them eyeing each other up. This is what happens when you get two guys that don't know each other so well, trying to psych each other out a little bit. Who do we go for? We're going to follow Miguel. And here we go, one-footed back loop. Bad crash though. Might have landed on the mast there. Looks all right, the head's up. He's flipping the board round, he's not damaged. At least not his body, maybe his ego. Dave coming back towards the beach, again just struggling. Wind a little bit lighter, starting to move downwind a little bit there, getting a little bit more distant from our cameras. With roughly 1.5 minutes left to go, still good opportunity to bolster the score sheets. Miguel still struggling on the outside to get up and running. But we've got Dave on the drone now, heading out to sea, building some speed. Sick angle, I love this. You see this coming from the Canaries, from Tenerife, from Gran Canaria, when they're doing the Pozo event, and it's such a good angle to watch the jumps from.
Yeah, I saw it. We missed it. We had enough of him.
Dave just running out of steam just a little bit there on the way out. Unfortunately not getting a ramp. We spotted in the background Miguel just picking up and having a nice loop in the background there. Continuing just to put distance on the score sheets between himself and Dave. 45 seconds left of the heat, and Dave initiating front side bottom turn. Hits the foam ball, but did he hold it? Yeah, he's back on the wave face, carving again and linking up these turns nicely, but he buried it just a little bit too deep there, fell off the back, so only one turn to count. Into the final 20 seconds or so. A final opportunity for Miguel to pick up a wave here. Nice and windy, planing hard, looking downwind, spots his bottom turn, a little bit flatter wave, not so big this time. Miguel's wave choice has been on point up until now, but he's just keen to get that final wave in. Not quite so big, but it's going to score some points. And we're done. Well done, lads. Good effort.
Not right now, we're just doing a battery change up here. We're good to go. Change it.
A lot of moving parts up here, aren't there?
This is a small game. Yeah, we're off everything. We're on a beauty camp. Okay. Okay, so can I go? We now got Phil Horrocks up against. Who's going to be up against Phil Horrocks? We won that one. We won that one against.
The next will be the semi.
Smith.
Smith.
Luke Smith. Yeah, Luke Smith.
Luke Smith, really?
Yeah.
Who did Luke Smith be?
Right.
Oh, Scotty. Really?
Really? That's wrong.
Yeah, that's
Yes, you can go on the go me go me now.
So, Phil Horrocks and Luke Smith have just literally ran down to their kit on the water. The wind's literally just picking up now. Massive gust has come through. Phil Horrocks, 5 times he's won the Tiree Wave Classic. Can Luke live up to Phil's standards in this heat? We will see. Back to you boys in the van. I'm getting blown away.
Thank you.
And we're back to the action.
I missed the 8 minutes. Don't worry, just go.
We've got Phil Horrocks, one of the most decorated wave sailors in British wave sailing history.
What's going on with that?
He's done such a big jump that our camera's gone into spasm.
Yeah, just waiting a little bit.
Quick bit of readjustment, we'll be back with you momentarily, folks. Definitely picking up, a little bit windier here on the beach. You can see those flags going full bore again. And we're back up and running. So that's Phil Horrocks on the white and yellow simmer.
Got nothing left.
He'll be looking to get some scores on here. He's initiating his first bottom turn. Very small wave, but important to start that scoring process.
We're running out of cards.
even just to limber up, loosen up, get himself warmed up a little bit on the water. A little bit of a chop hop off the lip of the wave. And that'll be pretty low scoring stuff for Phil. That's not really what a man of that experience level is looking for. He's going to be looking for larger set waves. I've no doubt we're going to see that from him over the course of the heat. Can be quite hard sometimes. If you're coming in as a highly seeded sailor, most of the pressure is actually on the guys with the higher seedings, because they're thrown in later on in the ladder. The other guys have had a bit more time to warm up, to do some less pressurized heats, and suddenly you're going against someone that's already warm, been in the water, sailed a few heats, and then you've got to start pulling it out the bag very, very quickly. So with this being the first time we've seen Phil in the water, this is exactly the position he's in. But he's got a ramp. Wow, right, now we're seeing the calibre. That's what you get from a multiple time British champion. Just that extra 3 or 4 feet of height. Luke trying to match, but unfortunately wasn't getting the kick off the wave, didn't get the height, and although he was looking for a rotation there, wasn't happy with the kick he got. So back to Phil Horrock's wave riding. You can just see Luke tacking in the background there, but Phil's all over this wave, front side to backside, backside to front side, milking the wave for all it's worth. And he goes upwind 360. What's really impressive about this guy is just how consistent he is. He is the Terminator. He just keeps coming. However, there's certainly a number of young sailors in this fleet this year that will be looking to topple Phil Horrock's dream to be the single most decorated British champion of all time. The British GOAT, so to speak. A little forward there from Luke. Not huge, but nicely landed. Got the rotation, no problem. Right in front of Phil. Phil throws it up, stalls the forward, throws it round. A little bit wet. Much higher than Luke though, so a higher scoring jump overall. Luke throws in the tack, heading back to the beach. One thing that Phil Horrocks tends to be I spoke too soon, he nearly catapulted. But one thing that Phil Horrocks tends to be a master of is just how he grades his performance and conserves his energy over the course of the ladder, so as to make sure that he only produces what he needs, enough to get through the heats. And from what I've seen over the years judging, he always seems to get that pretty much just about right. It's really important to know when to expend the energy and when to conserve, knowing who you might be up against in the next heat and whether you need something in the tank or not. But he's just starting to warm up now. You see him getting a little bit more radical, cutting loose, more radius in the turns, and a bit more aggressive as the heat progresses. Curious to know what size of sails these guys are using now, because the wind has been a little bit all over the place, but appears to be back up at the moment. I'm guessing Phil's probably on something 4.2, 4.5, somewhere around about that, maybe 85 litre board or so. Getting planing quick, early off the beach, but it's not consistent power there all the time. Luke's struggling a little bit out the back, having said that, so it is a little bit patchy at times. Luke coming in from out the back. Now, two guys bearing down on each other, both can see each other. They can see exactly what's going on. Phil's going to look to make some impact, but misses the opportunity on the way out in front of Luke there. Luke goes backside into the wave, initiates the front side, top turn, round he comes, yep. And he's still going, still riding, following that unbroken section, downwind. can tell after a number of heats now he's just starting to lose a little bit of power in the arms there. You can see the rig just getting pulled out of his hands in the gust now and again. Phil, on the other hand, very fresh into the water. This is almost the warm-up for him. And throws it round a sick wave 360, but doesn't quite stick the landing. So unfortunately that won't count on his scoring. Okay, now that's really blowing up out the back at the moment. You're seeing Horrocks really picking up speed and accelerating quick off the mark. And that'll allow him to get back upwind so as to maximise his position for the rest of the heat. Again, it comes back to this concept of, yeah, skill's one thing, but having a little bit of luck with the conditions, with the wind and so on, can make a big impact on any given heat as well. So we've got Luke out the back here, looking for ramp, trying to create some action here. Very windy. He's actually tail walking a little bit there on the way out. That is unusual. Definitely blowing up a little bit out to sea just at the minute. The guy's got a bit more power in the sails. And they may be struggling a little bit on the front side turns now to actually hold on to the sail. Let's move back to Phil. Turning, trying to maintain his speed, heading back out to sea, looking for a jump to improve his jumping score. Planing well off the beach. Looking for a ramp. Let's see what he's got in the tank here. Little one building out the back here. Is it a little bit steeper? And he throws it into a one-handed back loop. Sticks the landing. Perfect. Nicely executed from Phil Horrocks there.
Okay, so we've got Lucas Meldrum now going out there with Andy Bubble Chambers. They've just gone out onto the water. So these two, and then another two, and then the winner of the day will be decided. It's all going towards the final winner at the end of the week. They're heading out there. Stay tuned. The boys are in the van. I'm going to give you back to them now. Thank you.
Okay, cover to big wide camera on the 250. Standing by, going in. Can they give me a countdown for the start?
Seconds to go.
Ready? Let's count.
30 seconds to go.
Right. So you're ready, Tom? You've talked to me. What time are you?
8 for half 8. 8 for half 8.
8 for half 8. Start 7 at half 8. You're hanging around here for a bit.
10, 9.
I've lost pictures.
6. Oh, you
4, 3, 2, 1. Heat start.
I've lost it.
Andrew,
we've got a tap break down here. One in the back as quick as you can.
I just changed the record to ProRes LT. So format. Will it make any difference? Do I just need to go back to maybe?
So, apologies for that technical failure. We had battery meltdowns and card reader issues and all sorts of things going on here. Willie has shot out of the van, so you're back with me, Sam Usher, the director. Well, kind of. I'm not sure that's really true. Anyway, here we go. We have Lucas Meldrum versus Phil Horrocks. Andy Bubble Chambers versus Lucas Meldrum. That's what we got. Sorry for that. Lots going on here. So as you can see, the light is beginning to go slightly. The wind is still remaining pretty strong. The waves don't seem to have cleaned up. There you go, almost a lovely wave 360. Looking now at Andy Bubble Chambers. He is on his way back in, again looking for a wave. As you can see, they're tricky to find. They are not necessarily very clear and obvious. It's easier for us to see them from the high vantage point up here on the top of the hill across the Pole Beach. But we have managed to get through almost a whole fleet. We're in the closing stages of this men's pro fleet competition. So nail biting stuff, as you can see. .30 remaining on this heat. And then it will be Phil Horrocks and Miguel Chapuis. So that will be the most anticipated final for a long time. Last year we had Julian Salmon here against Phil Horrocks, and the European riders do exceptionally well here. Hawaii of the North. I'm not sure anyone likes it being called that. But anyway, there we go. So we have both riders, one going out, one coming in. What do we get going out? Andy Bubble Chambers and Lucas Meldrum. Lucas Meldrum up speed, searching for a ramp. He is at full tilt now. The wind has definitely increased now. He looks like his arm is all right as well from the previous time. I now have William back from, I don't know what he was doing. We call it in Discovery Channel a comfort break. Comfort break is over. He's more comfortable.
Thanks, Sam. I'm very comfortable with that. Yeah, that's much better. So, back to it. We've got Lucas Meldrum, Andy Bubble Chambers on the water. Moving towards the latter stages of the elimination ladder in this single elimination. A little hop, skip and a jump from Lucas there. And Andy tacking on the inside, heading back out. Looks fairly powered up now at this stage. A little bit more wind on the inside. Andy's renowned as being a guy that gets planing really early, always does well on his jumping with that early planing factor coming from the inside. That was a big forward from Lucas and a big forward from Andy. Lucas straight onto a large wave there. Let's see if we can put in some turns, start racking up the score sheet. No, he's electing to move back upwind into the inside.
This is the countdown for the end of the heat.
Right at the end of the heat here now. And we're done. Andy just throwing a wild forward off the lip to close out the heat.
Yes, we want an update from there. I don't have a camera at the moment, it's not black. Yes, we want an update as quickly as we can. Give us this. Yes. Is someone in front of that camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, she can go and Marie can go. We've got radio. Let's just go. Okay, yeah, whichever one, doesn't matter. Okay, go. Just let it go. 3. Don't have audio. Click on mic in.
5 times now.
No, it's ready. It's on. We've got it.
Yeah, no audio. Hello, hello. Okay, so Phil Horrocks and Miguel heading out there on the water now. Miguel from across the pond, never been here before. Phil Horrocks won it 5 times, current champion. This is going to be a heat to watch. This is going to be super exciting. Let's see them.
Semi. Yeah. There we go.
Hey guys, so we're back with the action now, and we've got Phil Horrocks and Miguel Chappie. Unbelievably, this is the semi-final, and we can expect a sick performance from both of these guys. Either one could probably take out the other. I'll be very curious to see how this heat goes and who advances. So the guys are just teeing up, getting ready for the start of the heat, looking back to the beach. And that's Miguel leaving the beach now. Full planing, straight off the beach. He's fresh, and he'll be looking for some big action, big ramps on the way out here. Here we go. Skies it for a rocket air back loop. A little bit wet in the landing, but very good height. Lovely angle from the drone footage here. Throws in a quick tack on the inside and heads back upwind. Phil doing the same. A little bit further out, but tacking and heading back upwind again. In many ways, one could argue that these were the two that we're eager to see in the final, but unfortunately only one of them is going to advance, just the way the ladders worked in the single elimination. Phil wave riding here now, front side to backside to front side turns, racking up his wave score. Miguel about to go for jumping, here we go. No, didn't quite pan out from there, just awkwardly braking. And now he's the wrong side of all the peaks, so he's probably going to head out the back and tack. Maybe slightly steeper, here we go. Tweak push loop, perfect landing, planing. Awesome manoeuvre, not the highest one we're likely to see in good conditions, but very well executed and very well landed. We've got a competition in our hands here. Phil Horrocks heading out off the beach, looking for some ramps for him now. Miguel initiates his bottom turn. Back to Phil, they've got each other in their sights. Miguel with the bottom turn, and Phil looking for another ramp. Is he going to get it?
On you, Joey. On you, Joey.
No. Tacking, heading back in. Miguel back towards the beach.
Yeah, just follow him back in. They're probably coming on a wave.
So the Euro riders have a really good kind of track history in Tiree here, but this man is the Euro killer. He's well known for it. Last year's event winner, Salmon, came up against Phil in 2017, and Phil showed him a clean set of heels then. Almost did the same again last year. And it's because of this ripping style that he's got. And Miguel, double forward. Has he landed it? No, feet are off the board. That's not going to count. So just, yeah, unfortunately, just about had a very high scoring jump maneuver there. One-handed back loop from Phil. Doesn't stick the landing. He's down. So maybe the two of them psyching each other out a little bit here in the water. Interesting watch how this unfolds. Definitely a little bit of nerves or a little bit of bad luck crept in so far, and not really seeing the manoeuvres that these two are capable of producing.
Okay, so Joey, we've got camera battery for the next heat. That is the final. Right, okay.
That's Phil tacking to the inside, heading back out. Miguel heading back in. Phil building his speed on the way out. He'll be looking for a ramp this time. See if he can continue to rack up his jump score. Getting himself back upwind, making really good mileage straight out to sea there. Bears off now a little bit. He's a little bit further out the back. He's trying to build his speed, find a steeper section to see if he can get another jump score. Not looking likely. Tack, back to beach. In the meantime, Miguel is down. I think he had a short wave ride there, went down. Looks like it's dropped just a fraction. The guys aren't playing quite as hard at this point. Bigger set wave for Phil Horrocks. That's going to be a nice initiation. Backside into frontside. Cracks it off the top. Thinks about the upwind 360, but then continues with the wave ride. Frontside bottom turn, hits the foam ball. And again, thinking about that upwind 360, but the wave didn't quite allow it. He's looking for that big manoeuvre to try and enhance the wave score. Miguel looking a little bit more powered up on the way out now. Tacking upwind, coming back to beach, looking for the wave.
Save a bit of that battery if you want, I reckon, Joey. So let's get a bit of the news this final.
So Miguel heading back to the beach here. Looking upwind, pumping, looking back behind him, seeing what's on offer. Must be quite flat out there at the moment because he's struggling to find a wave. Phil heading off the beach, good planing speed, looks well powered up. Getting some airtime on the way out there, but he's not interested in those inside waves. He's after something a bit steeper with a bit more power and speed out the back, maintaining his speed. Nothing really stacking up the way it was earlier on in the day. It's definitely flattened off a little bit on the low tide stage now. Miguel, on the other hand, finding a little bit of a steeper section here. It's small, but definitely allowing him to maintain his speed and racking up 3 or 4 turns on the way back to the beach. Really hard to say who's pulling ahead in the score sheets here. Wouldn't like to be in the judges' vehicle at the moment. Quite a difficult heat to see who's got the advantage at the moment.
How long have we got to go? Anyone, can you get a shout on who's got how long to go?
1 minute.
A minute. Oh, this is running, is it?
I see some commentary coming in there from some absentees this year. Galen Dickinson, Phil Anson. Phil was here last week, don't know if he's still here or not. Really nice to see everyone participating and getting on with the live stream. Watching these guys strutting their stuff on the screen. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's just flattened off a little bit. Doesn't look quite as windy on the inside at the moment. A little bit slower pace of action than what I was expecting here, and that's a definite indicator that it's not quite as windy, but a big set wave out the back, looming for Phil Horrocks. He's building speed and he's hoping it ramps up just as he gets to it. Here we go. Big stretch, one-handed back loop, absolutely sticks the landing. Now that's going to make quite a big impact in a slightly lackluster heat, because a high-scoring manoeuvre like that can just edge you out a couple of points ahead of the competitor, even if the wave scores are good, because remember it's 2 jumps, 2 varying jumps, and 2 wave rides. And a jump only takes a few seconds to get, but picking up the right wave and milking it all the way to the beach can take a little bit longer. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see after that jump what the judges' score sheets are actually looking like. Both of these guys are really good jumpers, very radical, able to pull off a multitude of manoeuvres. So we're moving towards the end of the heat now. And we are done.
Stopping this. Right, can we go to Mia? Anyone down there, we can go to Mia? Well, still, we should talk to Nigel. She could just talk to Nigel. This is it. We've got 1 minute 30 left. Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. So I want to climb a heat break. Heat break. How do I put a heat break in? I don't know how to put it. I haven't got a strap for a heat break.
That's interesting.
We'd like to do it.
Me, yeah.
You've got. Yeah.
Okay, so we've just seen all of the sailors through their heats now. It's just being decided who's going to go through into the winners final, who's going to go into the losers final. I'm here with Nigel, who's going to explain to us a little bit about how the winners final works and how the losers final works.
Okay, so we had 4 men in the pros final, and we've already had, let's see, we've had Chapuis and Horrocks have just had their round, but we now know that Lucas Meldrum is going into the winners final and Andy Bubble Chambers is going into the losers final, so he's fighting for 3rd place now. We're waiting to see who the other finalist is going to be. It's between Phil Horrocks and Chapuis. Just spoke to the judges. They're still adding it up and trying to go through the scores because it's pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay, so I saw a one-handed back loop out there. Who was that? Did you see?
One-handed back loop. Yeah, I think that was Chapuis. But Phil's had some great air and he's had some great wave riding as well. They're both just coming off the water now. But definitely Miguel. I'd say Miguel Chapuis might have pipped him, but let's wait and see what the judges come back with.
Okay, so in terms of the eliminations, will Bubble be able to maybe even, will it be on the cards for him to win it later on in the week, or is that off the cards now for him?
No. Everything's still open. You know, if we go to a double elimination and the conditions are looking great for Thursday and still looking firing for Friday, so we could have even stronger conditions than we've had today. And if that happens, we'll go through to a double elimination. Bubble could come back, Ben Page, you know, Coxey. There's quite a few of them out there, and Dave Horrocks as well, who could fight back and spoil the party for everybody else, possibly take the podium off them. But yeah, the next thing that's up is we're waiting for the result. But the men's final, we'll have the losers final next, to decide third and 4th place, and then we'll have the winners final. Just waiting to hear whether it's Phil or whether it's Miguel. Still waiting for the judges to come back to me now.
So it's exciting. We're really just waiting now to hear who's going to go into which final. In terms of the next few days, where do you think we're going to be going to in terms of locations, beaches? Are we going to stay here? What's it going to be like?
If it turns a little bit more, we may be going up to Ballafuel, but the location here looks good. I think we're going to be looking for bigger waves, if I'm honest. I mean, if the wind is looking constant, I think the judges will want to see even bigger waves than we've seen today. We'll get some mast-high waves, hopefully. Start to see some people getting ripped to pieces in them big breakers. But we'll see some big jumps and we'll see some fantastic wave riding.
So I've heard people have been saying that on Friday there looks like there might be quite a lot of swell moving from somewhere. Where do you think we would go on Friday?
So if we get that swell, it could go up to Ballafuel. You know, everybody likes to go to the Maze for the Tiree Wave Classic because it's such a big area to go, and it's well known, and it's a real kit breaker of a place. But I think we're going to look and see wherever the biggest wave is. That's where we're going to be taking the circus to.
So what's it like sailing at Ballafuel? You've windsurfed around here a lot. What are the conditions like there? What are the waves like there?
Similar beach to here, not quite as vast, but Ballafuel will usually give a bigger wave and the wave holds up for a bit longer as well. If you go around to the maze, then an even bigger wave still, and it's pretty ferocious round there.
Okay, thank you, Nigel. So we are still just waiting on the results now. We're going to see if we get them through. Nigel's just speaking to Adrian now. So I'm just going to move on to see if I can chat to some of these guys who are just behind me now. All right, guys, do you want to have a quick chat? How was it? We're live. We're live on Instagram and Facebook.
Hi, Mum. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, the best thing ever.
Yeah, I shall not swear. Yeah.
Yeah, please don't.
No, it was great. It was hard, very hard.
Yeah.
Like finding a ramp amongst all the chop and everything is really tricky, really tough, hard work. So, I mean, I sailed here quite a lot and I found that really hard. So it's Miguel's first time. He's probably found it twice as hard. So let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank
You
you.
sail brilliantly. Bubble, you want to chat? Lucas?
Yeah, sure.
Right, so we'll get... There's that camera there. We'll come this side.
I'm in the way.
No, Lucas, you can come in. Yeah, both of you. So how was that sailing against each other out there?
It was pretty hard, to be honest. It's always hard sailing against Lucas, and you know, when it gets this windy as well, I start to struggle a bit because I'm just fully overpowered and a bit uncomfortable on this tack. But yeah, no, Lucas absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've just found like the wind's just picked up loads, and I think the waves, like the chop on the waves is getting up as well, so it is really getting harder, and especially on the top turn, like you're getting blown out quite a lot. So
Yeah.
it's definitely harder than the first heat. So yeah, it was tough, but.
Well done, both of you. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, so Nigel, can we go live and give the people the results up there? Okay, we are live. I'll be waiting here for you.
Okay, Phil, you're here.
So we're just waiting for Nigel to gather everyone round, and we'll get these results in. Show you who's got through to winners final, who's going to be through in the losers final.
Phil and Miguel, could I just get you here? Sorry.
Exciting times.
Okay. Okay, it was so that was really super close. I believe there was a double forward, but it wasn't quite finished off. Had you done that double forward and landed it, I think that would have secured it. But Phil Horrocks goes through. Miguel in second place. Well done, guys.
Thank God you didn't stick it. That means I would have had to go for one.
So Phil is through to the final. He might be through for his 6th time winning the Tiree Wave Classic. 6 times winning a wave event. It's pretty impressive. Well done, Phil. Thanks. Back to the boys in the van.
So next up we've got the losers final. We've got Andy Bubble Chambers, beach starting, Miguel Chapuis upwind, narrowly, and now we've got Andy going off the beach. Playing hard out, looks a little bit windier out there at the moment, probably in 3/7s now as the wind picks up. He's actually on a 5 batten sail there at the moment, so here we go, Chapuis, big action. Push loop crash. Radical but no points. Andy Chambers on the drone now, heading out to sea. Is that going to get nice and steep? Here we go. No, not on that one. That's the Goya Eclipse sail 5 batten, designed for more variable conditions. Interesting, never seen Andy use that before, so it must be quite up and down in the water there. So the guys are out there battling it out so as to decide 3rd and 4th places from this single elimination. It's been an all-action afternoon at Crossbow Beach on the Isle of Tiree, with guys ripping. Sick action. So Chapuis heading back out, jibe on the inside, so as to maintain the speed. We've got the drone following him. He's got the gust, he's got the speed, he just needs the ramp. Is he going to get it? Here it comes. Huge push loop, sticks the landing. Big scoring manoeuvre, nice. Quite hard to get the consistent waves to allow for those push loops in these kind of conditions. So he did well to find the right ramp to put that through there. Quick tack out the back. Bubble's also not gone quite as far. Tacked heading back in again as well. Initiating his bottom turn. Here goes Andy. Getting himself established on the wave riding score sheets. Backside to front side. And again.
I'm on the closest up one.
Working that wave. Andy just trying to keep the momentum going from rail to rail. Maintain his speed. And maintain fluidity on the wave.
Okay, on to who's on Chapuis now? Who's that? Benji. Okay, Benji, I'm on you now. Okay,
so Chapuis en route to the beach, already completed 1 or 2 bottom turns there. Jibing, heading back out. Nice angle from the drone. Let's see what Andy can do in this next run on the way back out again. Building the speed, pumping sail, looking for that steeper section. Is he going to get it? No, not looking good at the moment. Nothing really looming up that's going to give him that vertical face to give him the projection. So he tacks and heads back towards the beach. Miguel doing the same. So nice view from the drone here. We're seeing both coming back in, one on the inside wave, one on the outer wave. Miguel's wave looks a little bit steeper, a little bit bigger. Sick upwind. Aerial there. Andy throwing in a forward off the lip. Both bottom turning downwind. Miguel with the goose screw attempt. Andy also goes down.
Great camera work, guys.
Nice. These guys are working in tandem to keep us entertained at the beach on Tiree. Miguel heading back out to sea. Is he going to get a ramp? Sticks the back loop but loses it on the landing. 0. Andy's jibe on the inside. Going to try and pump, build his speed, heading back out to sea and see if he can get that elusive ramp. 3.5 minutes remaining in the heat. Andy's got to build his jumping score a little bit. Miguel possibly a little bit more on the wave side. He's got to build those wave scores a little bit. Andy bearing off, he's seen something, Andy. Just a little bit late to the lip and it just sandwiched him. pushed him back into the water. Miguel bottom turning, vertical top turn, very nice. A little bit flat though, running out of wave to do much with. But he's keeping it going, working off downwind. Maybe now he's starting to come back upwind. The wind is definitely picking up here. The van's starting to rock a little bit more in the car park, so these guys are probably feeling the power in the sails a little bit more now. Definitely looks like people have changed down the sail size. Wind starting to fill back in as was forecast. Andy full planing speed. He certainly looks powered up and smacks that lip backside. Doesn't capitalise with a front side downwind turn. Happy to leave it and just maintain his momentum upwind back into the competition zone. Just noting in the comments there that the eagle-eyed amongst you are picking up on the big forecast towards the end of the week where we've got easterly gales and proper groundswell, 3.5 metre groundswell, and that's looking at a sizable ramp up in conditions for these guys. So yeah, this is the warm-up. This isn't the main event. We get the single out of the way today. We see how we progress through the rest of the week to get a double elimination or a second single done, depending on what the judges feel is the most appropriate mechanism for pulling in some results. So both guys heading back to the beach, looking to increase their wave score. Miguel in pole position at the front there, Andy just in behind, but with a really fast, hard backside bottom turn into the lip. These turns aren't big point scores unless they're actually interlinked as part of an upwind and downwind turning sequence. Final minute. Miguel accelerating off the beach with speed, looking for a ramp. Is he going to find one? Oh, catapult! Everyone knows that pain that windsurfs. Andy in the same mode now. Building speed, hunting for that wave, looking for the ramp to get himself airborne. Miguel bearing off, but not quite there. Andy building speed. Not just a flat spell for the two guys here at the moment. Wow! Double forward, Miguel Chapuis. Big action. That was sick. That was well landed as well. That's going to be high scoring on the judges' score sheets, and just in the nick of time as we move to the end of the heat.
Yes, definitely. Always. You don't have to ask. Just give us just chuckle in front of it and make a talk.
Okay, so Lucas Meldrum and Phil Horrocks have just head out to the winners final. It's going to be one of them that wins the day. They've just head out on the water. So Phil has won it 5 times before. Lucas has come up through the Future Pros. Super exciting. So we're going to watch them now. We're going to see what they're going to pull out of the bag. We want to see some forwards. We want to see some back loops. We want to see some big airs. Back over to the boys in the van.
into big action here with Lucas Meldrum at the beginning of the winners final. Sticking huge loop right at the beginning of the heat there. Oh, wipe out. Phil with a big forward out the back. The guys are finding the ramps. Miguel's not going without a fight. He's still sailing the competition zone. Someone get that guy out of there. So as strange as this may seem, this is the final that we were expecting. Lucas Meldrum, the pretender to the throne. Phil Horrocks, currently the king of UK wave sailing. What result are we going to get by the end of this? Want to see your comments coming through. Who's going to win this? Let's see what you all think out there. Phil, downwind bottom turn, throwing some nice spray, interlinking the turns, rail to rail to rail. Really nice front side wave riding technique. Phil, being a taller guy, has the advantage that he can really extend that rig. Lucas Meldrum, big stall forward. Nice clean execution, nicely landed. But I've got to say, it's going to take more than a forward in the final. He's going to have to add something extra in there. A rare catapult on the inside from Phil Horrocks. There is hope for us mortals. It's Lucas gathering some speed, coming back in, looking for a wave. Phil heading back out. Nice angle from the drone shot. Lucas setting up for the backside turn. Phil looking for his jump. Here we go. Rocket air back loop. Sticks the landing. He's got it. So just to confirm, back loop does score higher when cleanly executed than a forward loop does. Lucas just throwing it round. A little bit of backside turning going on the inside. Now, lovely front side. Oh, that's unusual. You don't see Phil miss those front side turns often, but it does happen. Tricky conditions, getting a little bit windier, and it is easy to stick the rail in. Lucas heading out to sea, looking for the jump. With speed, here he goes. Pushes through the back loop. Stacks the landing though. Nil point. It really is tough in an 8-minute time frame to stick all these landings on these jumps. Normally free sailing, you wouldn't see these guys drop many, but when the pressure's on, you're sailing against your nemesis in the water, it adds a little bit of pressure in there. So Phil's back up and riding, working his way upwind. Probably going to be looking for the jumping as opposed to the wave riding at this point. Lucas also heading for the inside. Yeah, Phil's tacking out, heading back out, trying to build speed, go for that jump again. Our drone's just searching for Lucas there. We've got him in our sights now. He's heading out, powered up. Some good looking ramps out the back, but are they going to steepen up in time for him getting there? Commentary suggests a one-handed back loop. Sure, the judges got it. Afraid we didn't quite get it on screen there. So the action just starting slow. It has been a long afternoon. The guys are now probably starting to wear a little bit. They've had a couple of crashes there. That does knock the wind out of you a little bit when you're swimming. Both looking to pick up waves here now and work the way back upwind. 3 minutes remaining. Lucas, nice initiation, into the foam ball, throws it round nicely, maintains the speed and carries on down the line. Really hard to do in these onshore conditions. and especially to do it well. He carried his speed through the whole wave ride there. Phil, again, emulating what Lucas was doing, getting slightly bogged down in the foam ball. It's slowed down a little bit for him. He throws it round there, but definitely struggling a little bit just to maintain the speed on the rail to rail.
On you, Joey. Close them in.
Oh, we see some old names from the past living up there. I see Timo Mullen coming in and commenting, an ex-Tiree winner as well. Great to get this kind of audience. Guys are heading back out to see neck for neck. Let's see what they've got. They're going to get some ramps here. No, both tacking, coming back in. Just a little bit of a lottery at times for the guys, you know. It has been just a little bit flat at times, and although they are finding their jumps here and there, it's not every other run. Minute and a half left to run.
Try and keep both boys in. Try and keep both in. You've got both.
Nice turns from Phil. Not a lot of power in that wave, but he is working the board rail to rail. Lucas tacking, heading back up with a little bit of upwind ground. Phil still working that wave. Not a big wave, not very critical, but sticks the upwind 360. Made that look easy, actually. Lucas out the back, goes to land the back loop, unfortunately just loses the landing ever so slightly. It was pretty close there. You could see the rig just wobbling in his hands, and unfortunately just lost control before he was able to push out with the backhand. 40 seconds, we're counting down. Phil with speed. Can he get a ramp? Whoa, stalled forward. Pretty nice landing. Not perfect, but pretty good. Final 15 seconds. Both guys looking to pick up a wave, just see if they can put the final score in the score sheet. As long as they initiate turns on a wave before the end of the heat, it is scoring. So Phil's underway, working back and forward, hitting some small white water there. Not sure how much of an impact this will have in his overall, but he is working it, and in the background a nice backside into front side from Lucas in the background as well. So both guys at the moment getting good waves. We'll just try and mix between the two, see who's scoring hardest here. Pretty even really. Phil had a slightly higher work rate. Lucas was a little bit more aggressive.
Over there, Joey, if you can, just show us a little bit of the event side. Just show us a little bit, that's great.
And that's us, we're done. What's it going to be on the judges' score sheets? Let's find out.
Can we get Mia over? Do something?
There'll be a little bit of a pause, and we'll come back to you as soon as we're ready to give you some more information on how that all went.
What has just happened? You've seen it just live. So we've had Phil Horrocks and Lucas Meldrum. Lucas Meldrum, duotone rider. Phil Horrocks, he's won it 5 times before. So we're just going to find out who has won the day today. We've been here for a long time. We've been here since 7:30. People were rigging up in the dark, in the rain. Like, this event is super hardcore. It hasn't been an easy day for the guys. The rain did hold off. It wasn't supposed to, but tomorrow we're probably going to get rain probably all morning. same wins again, we might be down at cross pole. Who knows? So I'm looking all around. I have a chat with some of the competitors, and we'll see how how the day's gone for them. See if we can get a little bit of the lowdown, see what's gone on. So the boys are just heading up the beach. Everyone is full of anticipation right now. They're just waiting to see who has got the win, who's got the second. We know who's come third and fourth already. We just want to find out who's in the win and who has. We're waiting on Adrian, head judge. So I might actually talk to Nigel. So Nigel, how did you find that last heat there?
Well, it looked really, really close. I mean, Phil was really firing. Lucas, you know, it was a massive grudge match, but we saw some massive forwards there and some really big wave riding. I mean, it's a real grudge match at the end of the day between these two boys, and I'm anticipating that the results. No one here can really call it. We've been talking about it, but I'm anticipating it's going to be a really close event.
It certainly was a good one to watch. I mean, these guys, they don't hold back in the final, do they? We've just seen that. They are literally giving their all at the end of the day.
No, absolutely, mate. I mean, this is their bread and butter, right? I mean, this is what it's all about for these guys. The difference between, making a living and not making a living, and that's the result possibly coming through now.
So
just check with that.
Just going to let Nigel talk to Lucy on the radio. So we might be hearing the results. It might all just be about to happen. So the guys are, they've been here all day. Everyone is looking forward to packing their kit up and finding out who the winner is, and then getting a bit of rest and doing the same tomorrow and the same Friday. So Nigel, the lead of the BWA, he's waiting on the result. Okay, so we're going to find some more competitors to chat to.
Can I get the four finally?
I think we're going to go straight into finding out who's won here.
You want to be that side?
You're right.
We're the bot men.
Oh, sorry.
Should we face the stick?
Do you want to see? Yeah. Wherever you want it go.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Do you want your backs? Well, you can stand here. On this sort of line here. They want your back to the line.
Nice double at the end.
Okay, you ready?
Are you ready, Nigel?
I'm always ready, born ready. You good?
Okay, so for the single elimination final of the Tiree Wave Classic 2023, we already know in fourth place is Andy Bubble Chambers. In third place, Miguel Chapuis. A massive grudge match between Lucas and Phil Horrocks. There was only 2 points in it, and the winner, Lucas Meldrum. Second place, Phil Horrocks. Let the interviews commence. Let's get the pair of you. Come on, let's get the pair of you. Well done, guys. Well, it's coming more regularly. I'm happy about it.
So, Miguel, we can have a quick interview over there. Yeah?
Over where?
Long day waiting.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay. Okay.
I know what I did, but I don't know what he did.
Okay.
You come out, I mean, I just talked to Miguel's knee, and I just thought,
So there you are. We are just waiting for Mia to get in and do an interview with Phil and with Lucas. As you can hear, as you heard from Nigel, there was only 2 points in it, and I think from all the comments that we're getting on the thing, it was I did have 2 good jumps. So there we go. It's a pretty close, but we are going to do a double elimination. That is the plan anyway. And if we do the double elimination, we shall be running another live stream. That's our plan, hoping we don't lose any more equipment and anything doesn't get too wet, which is tricky up here on Tiree. We will wait for this interview and bring it back to you as soon as we can.
We're live, go on. So Lucas,
Hello.
how did that feel out there? You've just won it.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, as I said, I didn't pull off anything crazy good, but I mean, I filled the scorecard, and I think at the end of the day, that's what matters. So I'm happy to put a solid scorecard together. Yeah.
Yeah, yourself, Phil, how did you feel out there?
That was good actually. It was really windy. Really hard to pick like a smooth run up to a wave to get a decent jump, so you just have to take what you can get. But I mean, I felt like I sailed all right. I had a decent one-handed back loop, table forward, a couple of all right waves. So I don't know what he did, but he must have eaten something extra today. What did you get in your scorecard then?
Well, I think one-handed backy as well,
Yeah.
and then full forward and a couple of waves. I think I got a little air. Might have been a little thing, but
Must have been close. Good. Well done.
Well done, both of you. Epic, nice one.
Cheers.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, guys. We're signing out for today. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Thank you, Lucas. You're all right. So we'll see you again tomorrow for more of the same.